are live and you're welcome. Sorry. Had to log in a bit late. We're having a bit of a network challenge. Please confirm that you can see me, you can hear me. Let me see you right in the comment section. I quite a number of people in the comment, but I do not think that I have a good enough network. Today we're talking about how your parenting affects your parenting today. The way you were parenting, your upbringing, how did it affect your parenting today? I want to see your comment to be sure that that comment is actually telling me. Oh, somebody said loud and clear. Lori, yeah, I can even see it from my end. We can hear you. Hi, Olamipo. See you. All right, please confirm. Confirm. Yeah, the network is a bit shaky. Just give me a minute to check if I have a better network so that we don't have this back and forth. All righty. I am hoping that this is actually a lot better. All right. So that we can, somebody said it's better now. Yes, it is better now. I am excited to be here. If you are excited, let me see you put the fire emojis. All right. The fire emoji is actually for inner circle webinars. And if I'm bringing fire emojis here, trust me, you don't want fire emojis on this Tuesday live. All right. But that's by the way. My name is Wendy Ologe, and I'm the founder of the Intentional Parent Academy. I'm called Africa's #1 parent coach. Yes. And today, if you're listening to me for the first time, you find out why that name is there and it's stuck. All right. So tell me in the comment section, is this your first time of joining us here? Yeah, as I see you guys, the happiness is second, tasty, cheering go. If this is your first time of joining us live, put a comment in the comment section so that we can sing for you. You're welcome in the name of the Lord. Yes, we can sing for you. We like it. All right, so that we can also welcome you. Tell us where you are streaming live from. Tell us where you're streaming live from. Today's session, I'm excited about it because our upbringing plays a crucial role in shaping who we become as parents. We don't even recognize it because we never actually pay attention to it, and we actually don't, think it. So we just think that we became who we became just because we were who we were. But the truth of the matter is, we have become these people because of our upbringing. So, who you were born to be, you are a product of who raised you, where you were raised, how you were raised, and what the person who raised you know. I say that again. You are a product of who raised you, how you were raised, where you were raised, and what the person who raised you know. So, what this means is that if another person had raised you, right, you will become another person. That's simply an explanation for it. All righty. Thank you so much. Somebody said I'm watching from Kenya. It's my first time. Hi, Faith. It's good to have you. I wish to work on myself before I had kids. We all wish all of that. But the truth of the matter is that for us not to just continue to wish and just wish that we have done things, another way, we're here now. We start where we are. So, yes, Gumbe, thank you so much. Welcome you. This is called the Harvard of Parenting for a reason. Thank you, Mercy, for that. So, number one, here are the several ways that your upbringing affects your parenting today. All right? All right. So, here are several ways that your upbringing affects your parenting today. One of the things that you must note when it comes to raising anybody is that you are formed with whatever it is that you have seen. So it is that thing that you have seen that is going to actually become what you will give, because you can't give what you don't have. So when parents tell me that, what are you saying, ma? If you don't beat the child will be useless. No, it is what you have actually been, you have programmed to believe. So you have been socialized that a child cannot become except you actually go that route of that kind of discipline or punishment. But that is not true. The thing is, if you learn another way to do things differently, you will find out you actually have another result. You believe it just because that's your program. It's not because that's necessarily the truth or that's necessarily the principle that works that process. And the fact that many of us actually claim that we turned out okay doesn't really mean that we're okay, really. Really, there are a lot of things that are wrong, with our upbringing. And the worst part, if you're not able to bring it to bear, if you're not able to reflect through it, you make the same mistake. The same mistake that your parents have made because it is their program you will play. Now, if you're going to actually do anything differently, one of the things you must do is to recognize that you have been programmed to become this way. Whether good programming or bad programming, programming is programming. So we are all product of programming. So now, let me say this now. Parenting is programming. So what your children will be as a result of the program that you have. So the question will be, what program do you have? Most of us, the only program we have is the program of our ancestors. We don't have any other new program. So we're going to give that program. So parenting, someone help me write that in the comment section. Parenting is programming. Alrighty. So here are the key ways that our upbringing has affected our parenting today. Because these are the ways that these programs have affected us. So I'm going to be sharing with you the ways that these programs have affected us. Number one is values and beliefs. Now, the values instilled in you during childhood, good or bad, honesty, lying, empathy, violence, discipline, punishment, that becomes the foundation of your parenting philosophy. So I moved the value and beliefs. I created them into two stages: inherited values and belief systems. So inherited values will be the kind of, so people come and tell me, oh, well, we have Nigerian parents are very disciplined. African parents are very disciplined. When they do something, they just slap you, your brain will reset. That's not discipline. Unfortunately, that is actually punishment. And that's violence. So we define discipline as violence because that is what we have been socialized and programmed to believe. So part of our inherited values is the misinterpretation of what discipline should be. So it's become part of us. So it's become one of the things that we are fighting to change today. And then people fight you, and then they tell you things like, what are you saying? Even the Bible says that you should spare the rod and spoil the child. And of course, when you hear things like that, you begin to wonder, why are we not using physical rod to actually hit a child on their body? So does discipline really mean that you need to be violent? No. And this is why most of us who claim to be disciplined cannot finish one book in 1 year. And yet, you describe yourself disciplined. I've gone, I hope you're not feeling the fire yet. And yet, you have described yourself as a very disciplined person, forgetting that discipline is not aggression. Discipline is not violence. But because you have learned it to be aggression, your interpretation of discipline is aggression of violence. You have interpreted that you have been raised a disciplined person. But you start a job, you can't finish it. You start a book, you can't finish it. You look at yourself, you're being overweight. You can't work on your overweight because you're not disciplined enough to pick it up and run. But when it comes to a child does something, you're angry, you express your anger and hit the child, you actually pride yourself as a disciplined person. Can you see the difference? So it's just inherited values. And that's what makes a mess. And that's why it's so difficult to explain it to a typical, African person that what you're doing is not discipline. They will tell you you're going to spoil the children and all of that. I remember when we started, raising the twins, and somebody said, you don't own a cane. They are going to be useless. There's nobody who raises a child without a cane where the child doesn't get spoiled. And then we postulate that when you raise a child abroad, the child is spoiled. When you raise a child in Africa, the child becomes good. And it gets me to wonder, what does that even mean? a child raised abroad. No. See, parenting gaps are standards everywhere. The principles of parenting is the same everywhere. Methodology might differ, but it's the same everywhere. You say it because the same parents who do not understand what discipline really means goes into a society where there are systems and structures that hold you accountable because you do not have the right definition of discipline. You fail at it because aggression and violence cannot give you the result you're looking for. And even in Africa, where you think that that result has been given, did it really? You find out that we are actually not disciplined. Am I trying to break some of the tables? If I am, it's a good thing. Did you share this link with your family, your friend? It's going to be a very interesting class because we're talking about where we are coming from. And this is so, so important. So they are inherited values. Another inherited value could be hard work. One of the things, right, we inherited as value, is work. So let's go to belief system. One of the belief system that we inherited or we have from our parenting, most of us raised in the 80s and early 90s, your belief about, education. Your belief about education. Most of us actually believe that education is your way out of anything in life to develop yourself, which is not a lie. But the question is, what is our definition of education? Most of the times, education is actually attention, awareness, and advocacy. So beyond education, we need to step into the place of learning. So we didn't learn how to learn. We learned how to be educated, which is attention, advocacy, and awareness. And trust me, these things do not really take you to the point of creativity. So education doesn't take you to the point of creativity. Education just takes you to the point of consumption and being able to just live okay. So beyond education, there's something more to be done, but we don't have it. So we have a belief system that education is where it stops. So what we end up doing is attention, awareness, and advocacy. When I started parenting coaching, one of the things I saw was this: awareness, attention, advocacy. But I saw that people were not learning how to do things differently. So I came into the industry and I was like, what's happening? There was so much noise, so much attention, so much awareness, but it wasn't producing the kind of result we should have because it was not tapping into the creativity of human nature. Until that happens, you don't actually move forward. So we have been socialized to believe that your education is where it is. That's where it ends. Is education good? Yes, but if you stop that, you struggle. Because for you to actually become, you need to be able to tap into the creativity nature of you being a God. And that's what we call in the inner circle the messiahness of your system. And when I started, doing parent coaching, I realized that without actually getting into the fabrics of transformation, without getting into the fabrics of accountability, without getting into the fabrics of process against progress, we're going to just go around in circles and we'll be where it is that we are. I like the way Neka put it. Education causes you to lower the bar, not raise the bar, because there is a cap. So education is not where you stop. Education is actually where you begin. Say that again. Education is not where you stop. Education is actually where you begin. Now think about it. The education you have is the creativity of man. So what are you creating? What are you teaching your children about creativity? Your belief system is actually making it, saying that way. Now, number 2 is work. Our belief system about work is that you go to school, come out, and get a good job, and you get paid. People who were raised in the job economy, that's what it is that we know. Because that's what the job economy required. The job economy required you to do routine, get educated, get a job, make money. And it was a system. Let me not go into history, but it was a system created to create the middle class for a purpose. It was a historic purpose. Let's not get into that. So that's how work. So your perception about work is that, oh, my child comes out, gets a good degree, and gets a job in Chevron or Shell. Or you said like me, and it was like a bragging right to my dad. Now, if you do not understand that we're no longer in the job economy, we are now in the skills economy, you make a mess of your children, parenting with what it is you believed. So we are now in the economy that talks about skills. So if you're not training the head, the heart, and the hands of your child, you will do your children a disservice. Now, how you were parented is that the belief system is about the job economy, get a job. But this economy today is a skills economy, saying if you don't train the head of your child, their heart and their hands, they won't be able to survive in the next few years. Now, when you really look at it, you begin to understand that our belief system can either make or mar our children. Or is it relationship? Or is it relationship? Relationship belief system in our time. Most of us have different kind of belief system relationship. Your mother tells you you're here for your children. When the man is just messing up, it's okay. Just stay there. Train your children and look away. It's a belief system. Some of us are still practicing it. The belief system that, oh, if I get married, my money is my money for the woman, his money is our money. It's a belief system. It's a belief system. So we need to actually begin to think through the belief we have and how it's affecting how we are raising our children. So life in general is shaped by upbringing, guided by the principles you pass on to your children. I said that again. Life in general is shaped by your upbringing, and it is guided by the principles that you pass on to your children. So it is the principles that you passed on to you. If you do not unlearn it, to relearn it, to understand the systems that your children are running, then you pass on to them the principles that are stale, the principles that are no longer viable, the principles that don't pay them. And that's why you say things like, in my time. I have said it over and over again. It is culturally unintelligent to compare your times with your child's times. So the principles you're passing on, the determining factor will be what it is that you know. That's the determining factor. In the inner circle, I'm going to be teaching the inner circle parents about, training the head, the hand, and the heart. I think that should be sometime next month or 2 months or so. And we're going to actually be able to break it down. There's a lot to that subject. If you're not in the inner circle, sorry, don't be angry. Join us for the next go. You will see the thing scrolling under this video. Yes, that's where you get the details on how to get into the next code. And yes, that's actually where the real conversation and the depth actually happens. Because what I'm doing with you today, what I'm doing with you now is education. I'm just educating you. So it's not really a process of learning. It is education, attention, awareness, and advocacy. So I worked for USAID for 10 years. And what I did in those 10 years is education, attention, awareness, advocacy. And that's why Africa doesn't really grow, because even the people who are bringing aid to you understand that life doesn't stop at education. It actually begins there. So they bring you education and then stop you from creativity. And when they do, there's a cap. You remain where it is that you're giving. It's a system of raising slaves. It's not a system of raising kings. Right. So let's go. Number 2. Who can feel the fire in the room? Can you feel the fire in the room? Can you feel the fire in the room? Let's see your comment in the comment section. I need you to share this link. share it. Share it with a friend, a family, or someone you know. You might not know how much favor that you're doing to someone just to be able to hear one word. Two, the things that you hear here can literally save generations. It will cause you to take action and begin to do things differently. So if you share this link in groups, in your status, wherever it is, let me see you say in the comment section, yes, I am here. Yes, I am here. Number two, parenting style. Parenting style. And I've categorized this parenting style to two different categories. Number one category is model behavior. Number two category is discipline technique. Now, model behavior is the way your parents disciplined you, communicated, expressed affection. It influences your own parenting style. Whether you consciously follow their example or you choose a different path, it will influence you. Because your parenting style is a program. So you see, so many of us, love was not communicated in real, tangible terms. So we're a generation that was starved of expression of love. If I do a sample now, you will find out that 80% of us in this room have never heard our parents say, I love you. I love you. So we were starved of that expression. How did we know that our parents loved us? We just know because they paid our school fees. They woke up and gave us food. And we just gotta be grateful. That's how. So you find yourself just being in that space. So even when there is abuse in the environment, your definition of love is tinted because you didn't experience pure love in itself. Our parents were not pictures of love indeed. You didn't experience pure love in itself. What you experienced was conditional love. I am providing for you is the love of things. So therefore, you need to also be there for me when I need you. So it was an exchange. It was transactional. And that was the kind of love we understand. And that's why even in church today, when we're relating with God the Father, we are exchanging our worship for material things. Think about it. So, oh God, come down, give me car, give me house. Oh God, if you don't give me, I won't serve you again. There's a condition for even serving God. Yeah. You give God conditions because you never really experienced love in its purest of forms. Your experience of love was always something in exchange. And growing up, you also noticed that whenever it is that you do something wrong, you are starved of love. Now, let me tell you the bad part. You still do the same. That's why one of the things that a 3-year-old would learn is you're no longer my friend. Because we use love, expression of love, as a way to punish a child. So a child does something, you say, well, I'm no longer talking to you. Even as young as 3. Tinted. So our definition of love is tinted because we didn't experience love in its purest form. And if you are not in touch with this, if you are not in touch with this reality, you will never. This is a reality that every single one of and deal with. So even some of us who are now, oh, we're telling our children that we love them and all of that, it's still not in its purest form. Social media the other day, and I said, your children are not in retirement. Was it? People came for my head. How can you? Boom, that's it. Transactional. Hmm. Is about what it is that you can. Children are never going to actually take care of you at old age. It means that is gone. It means that, again, if reality that I'm sharing with you, you will not know where you're coming from. And this trauma, love in its purest form, will stop and generations to come. And it continues to come. So I need you to think through the things that I'm saying. We actually struggle to even love the. That's why you compare. Can't you see? And can't you be as smart as your older sister? I usually tell the child you have, not the child you wish to have, not the one you think you have, parent the one that you have. It's cracking. Sorry about that. I'm hoping that we're able to get. Okay, can you see me now? Is it better? Let me know, please. If the video better, if it's not, let's see if we can try another network. So sorry about that. I am very sorry. I wish that okay, I think it's a lot better now. So sorry about that. Please, we can manage the whole system. So sorry. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And my mom is here. Hello, mom. All right, please, if you can hear me, somebody say it's perfect. So let's go, let's go, let's go. So if you're not able to review some of these things that you keep saying, no, but we turned out okay. What are you saying? A generation that was starved of so much love, and yet we actually make all of this noise. Have you seen how that have made a mess of our process as a people? I will not be able to actually go through this. This is one of the things that we're going to also dig deep into the trauma class. If you haven't registered for that, you are doing yourself a whole lot of service. Many times people actually tell me, oh, coach, all these things, everything was perfect. Trauma is not what was done for you. Trauma was supposed to that wasn't done. So trauma is not about I was molested, I was beaten. It's also what was not done to you that was supposed to be done. So that is also trauma. So you need to actually begin to ask yourself, do I really know? There's so many things that were supposed to be done that were not done. That's the truth. That's the truth. Some of them we don't even know until we get into the place of knowledge, and then we now begin to say, oh, our parents were supposed to love us unconditionally. Hmm. And then all of a sudden you begin to realize that unconditional, love was not something you needed to seek, but we're seeking it. Like discipline techniques. If you are, you will replicate the probability of replicating that discipline would actually be low, a lot higher, right? Please be patient with the network. It's going back and forth. And if you thought, just be patient with us, all right? So this is actually very important for you to be able to see and understand and know what it is that you're doing. So your parenting style will be, your parenting. So sorry about that. I guess we are back. Yes, I am now back. Always completely frozen. I was taken out. Please ensure that you can see and hear me. Of course, all right, so sorry. My network is a bit draggy today. So, number three is emotional responses. Emotional responses is part of the effect of your upbringing and how it will also affect your children. Now, under emotional responses, I have two: emotional regulation and conflict resolution. So I have these two books, right? One is called Solving Family Problems Through, and then the second, The Emotionally Skilled Child. I realized that our emotional responses, the way we learn to manage and express our emotion, is as it's no child effect, is how you handle your child's emotional outburst. So the way your emotions were actually, handled, right, as a child, the way you were taught, the way the most important people in your lives handle the emotions will be the way that you would eventually. I am believing we have about three networks in my office alone. I'm believing truly apologize for all of the back and forth. That is not how I like to do my classes. But hey, bear with us as we hope that the network is going to get better as we go. Please confirm that you can at least hear me so that we can continue to throttle down on this conversation. Let me see the comments in the comment section to confirm that I can be heard, and let's see how that works. Now, so I was talking about emotional responses, and I was saying that emotional responses, right, is all right, great. Emotional responses is divided into two: emotional regulation and conflict resolution. You find out that emotional regulation is the way we learn to manage and express our emotions as a child. It's going to also affect how we manage and handle our children's emotions and outbursts. You find out that you will do almost exactly what your parents have done if you do not, if you do not learn how it is that you need to actually. Your own emotional regulation actually affects what your child. So children learn emotions from the home. The first place that children learn emotions is from the home. And most times, this struggle happens because the home itself, the people in there have not learned how to regulate their emotions. Number two part under emotional regulation is conflict resolution. So I have this book called Solving Family Problems Through Effective Communication. I realized that we're not taught how to solve conflicts. We're taught how to confront. So confrontation, not conversation. That's what we're taught. So our upbringing gave us a lot of confrontations. So we never actually have conversations in most of our families. So we are not able to actually use communication to solve any problem. So all we do when it comes to conflict is that everywhere actually just catches fire. And it starts with sibling rivalry. So I chronicled resolving sibling rivalry as a book when I started to. I have a set of twins who are 14. If you have a set of twins, you will understand when I say that sibling rivalry is another conversation altogether for you. And if you're not intentional about it, you would also make same mistake and same circles and all of that. I saw sibling rivalry firsthand in my own father's family, and it made a mess till today. My father and his brothers are in their 70s, their 60s, and yet I see a people who are not able to sit and have conversations. It's always confrontation. Why? They were not taught how to resolve conflict. Think about it. You and your husband. Because you don't know how to resolve conflict happens in your home and it escalates. The problem is not the presence of conflict. The problem is that we do not know how to resolve conflict. So conflict resolution is a skill. Some of us were taught to stonewall because that's what our parents did. You would do something, they keep malice. They stop talking to you. Some of us will say, I don't want to talk about it. I'm just a quiet person. I don't like trouble. That's the problem. That's actually an ineffective way of resolving conflict. That's an ineffective way of resolving conflict. Somebody said, sibling rivalry ruined my relationship with my only sister. Our parents always compared us with each other. That's it. So it is important that you understand that if you don't have these skills, the systems you're running in your parenting will be replicated. So I saw my dad. My dad was not taught conflict resolution. So he couldn't even teach it to us. That's the thing. You can't give what you don't have. So I needed to start to learn how to resolve conflict effectively. So conflict resolution, all of the skills you need to learn in conflict resolution, we teach it to our children intentionally. Intentionally. So we were all taught confrontation. So until you learn to have conversations, even now you confront your children. Your child does something. Instead of you to sit down, what happened? Hey, I heard, what is this? You are constantly confronting because that's what you know. That's what you know. You come back from work, They told you, they called you from school that your child has beaten somebody. They did something. The first thing you do, I heard what you don't even allow the child to put mouth. Who is the child? And you are constantly backing, berating the child, talking, criticizing, because you are not able to actually have conversations. I remember one time our daughter had a problem in school. Was got into a trouble of a teacher. I think that was just S1, I can't even remember. And we were called, the teacher complained and all of that, threatening, you won't go to maths competition, you won't be period, and all of the threats that teachers threaten. And then when I got to school, the teacher actually expected that we're going to start confronting our daughter. Why did you do this? You want to disgrace me? Psycho parents know that we don't walk the hall of shame with a child. When you bring shame, you walk it on your own. It's your shame, it's not mine. So why am I agitated about your shame? Why do I have a problem with the fact that you have decided to do what is wrong and take the consequence? The consequence is yours. And when we came in and were so calm, we didn't stay, we didn't shout, we didn't drag our daughter. The man was actually very upset. Like this kind of parents that want to spoil their children, we were calm. I could see him fuming somewhere inside of him. But we were very calm. We called our daughter. And then what happened? And when she said what happened, we said, well, of course, this is where you edit, this is what it is. You know how to fix this, right? She looked at us and said, Mom, Dad, I will fix it. Don't worry. In the next 1 week, you're going to get a call that I fixed this. And she asked me a few questions of what it is that she can do. I thought, okay, this is what you can try. In 3 days, the same teacher called us and said, what did you do with your daughter? How did you guys do it? You didn't make noise. You didn't shout. No confrontation. No, you have disgraced me. You have come. It is not necessary. See, there is this calm that knowledge gives you. The Bible said that wisdom and stability, wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of our times. So it means that the more knowledgeable you are, the more wisdom you have, there's this peace that passes all understanding that you're going to have. So parenting does not require you to be perfect. It requires you to have wisdom. So the more trained you are, the more wise you are, the more peaceful your parenting will be. So if you're struggling in your parenting, it's a sign that you lack wisdom and knowledge. It's a sign. It's a sign. So anytime that you actually find yourself in spaces where there is so much struggle on your journey in an area, it is an indication that that area needs you to now gain more knowledge on that issue of life. So I usually tell the parents in the inner circle, like, if you need to fight, you are not wise. I mean, you need to fight. No, you don't need to. You don't need to. Somebody said they couldn't hear my experience with my daughter. Who else didn't hear me? I shared it. Right? Yes, please enjoy your shame and enjoy your glory too. The glory is yours. I remember telling our son one of those times, during Pitch and Prize Day, he was seated beside me. He was seated, on the other side with students, and got called, the best behaved in the whole school, the best performing child, the best mathematics student, the best. As he was going and going and going, I called him after the event and I said to him, was it my name they called? Do I look like Ayologe? No, I don't. I am Wendy Ologe, and I'm making my name for myself. I'm not interested in you making a name for me. It is your name you need to make. So your children need to get to that point. You need to understand that this fight is a fight of lack of knowledge. Thank you so much, Mercy. It's a fight of lack of knowledge. The more knowledgeable you are, the wiser, the more stable and calmer you will be in your journey of parenting. Your journey of parenting. So when you actually learn, there's a kind of peace. So when parents parents are running kitty, 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 kata, kata. See, the parents in the academy, we're not running. We're not running. One thing happens, they bully the child, they beat the child, like that, we're everywhere. Yeah, what's happening? What do you have to say? We're not running, we're not perturbed, we're not agitated. No, we have it on the grounds where we are in a process. It's not about the progress of our process, it's about the process itself. And the result is clear. Because when you skip process over progress, you crumble. You crumble. Standard. So number 4 is communication patterns. So we have the open and closed communication. If your family practiced open communication, you'll be more inclined to encourage open dialogue with your children. You'll be more inclined because that's what will always naturally just come to you. So under communication, we also have listening skills. I have realized that the attention and listening skills modeled by your parents influences how effectively you listen and engage with your children. My mom was a great listener. My mom is here listening to me. My mom listens. Her listening skills are out of the world. One of the things I inherited. My mom will be patient for you to get to the end. We don't even allow our children have an opinion. So, of course, you can't really make impact. Number 5 is parental involvement. Engagement level and support and encouragement. Two different parts. Now, the level of involvement level of involvement your parents had in your life can impact how engaged you are in your child's life, in your child's education, in their interests. Now, this is what happens. For those of us who had parents maybe who were never involved, we are always at this place where we overparent or we underparent. There's always an extreme. So it's either I'm doing it because when my parents was growing up, they didn't give me all of this. Why do you think a lot of children are obese today? We're overfeeding our children. Because some of us grew up in places of lack. So we are now seeing ourselves where my children will never suffer. Why do we say those things? It's the extreme that is coming from the things that happen to us. It's trauma. Overworking is trauma. Overfeeding is trauma. It is. So we see our children obese. We see our children. You are giving a child food to school. You give 1 packet of juice. You give Indomie 2 packs. You give plantain. You give chicken. You give fruits. Because somewhere in your mind, your children must never suffer. The suffering that I suffered. So that's an extreme that is as bad for your child. That's an extreme. And then the other extreme could also be, well, they did it to us, we survived. We didn't have to eat so much. I bet they will be okay. So you now do the same thing that was done to you because according to you, you survived it. And that's what we'll talk about in discipline. And we say things like, they beat us. Did we die? We didn't die. We didn't die. So I will also beat my children. Two extremes. That doesn't pay you. Or you say things like, I don't want my children to suffer. They suffer, I suffer. I trekked to school. I suffered in my life. So it's not for you to be able to actually bring balance, bring what is essential for your child to learn at the time they need to learn it. You will shield them from the reality of life because that trauma you experience has tainted your reality. So your reality is colored. There's something about your reality that is no longer okay. So you sell it to your children, and at the end of the day, you raise entitled children because according to you, they should never suffer. So it's very important that you begin to look at these things and reflect too. So when you look at these two extremes, please, anytime you see yourself at the extremes, know that there's something wrong. There's something wrong. People say, oh, my father was never there. I must be there for my children. No, everything, anywhere they're going, I'm there. Anything that they do, I'm there. If they have anything, I will bail them out. Hey, I'm going to be there. Oh, so I'm writing my book. Raising boys, you don't need to bail out. One of the books that I'm releasing this year. And one of the things I wrote was how we taught our children that talent does not give you the seat on the table. I shared that today. Talent doesn't give you a seat on the table. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Our son is talented. He plays the organ. He was a school organist in primary school. Got into secondary school and just felt, you know what? I'm talented, so everybody should come at my beck and call and just give me the piano to become the school organist. Excuse me. And then he came to our house and then tells us, oh, maybe you should tell the school that I can play very well. We say, no. The rule in this house is that you shine your light so bright that kings will come to the brightness of your light. It's not the other way around. Kings don't come to a light that is not bright. You have light, it's okay. It's only Gentiles that come to light. It is kings that come to the brightness of your light. And we told him, he said, shine your light, position yourself. Your positioning is bigger than your talent. Strategize how you position. He went back to school, started to position, and when the opportunity came, he was in the right position to deliver, and that distinguished him. Today, he's the school organist in his school, in secondary school again. And I'm writing in that book, and I said that your children must understand that you can't give them his talent, positioning, not just talent, because they can be skilled and still not be able to make impact. Because the world does not belong to the skilled and the silent. The world belongs to the bold and loud. So you must teach your children how to position. It's part of it. It's part of it. So if you don't understand it, you're going to say things like, my parents didn't give me enough chance. My parents didn't help me to soar. My parents didn't help me to do this. Then you will find yourself where you're constantly a helper, the Holy Spirit, to your child. And you find out that you ruin their potential just by doing that. Just by doing that. So this is a concept. It's about knowing. It's about knowledge. Time is not going to permit me to share a whole lot. But let's go to reflection and adaptation. When you recognize the impact of your upbringing on your parenting, it can be empowering. It's not as empowering, it's empowering. It allows you to reflect, what aspect can I continue? What aspect should I take out? See, if there is nothing you're taking out on your parenting journey, there's something wrong with your knowledge bank itself. That means you don't know enough to be able to distinguish that some things in that generation are no longer feasible in the today. It shows your knowledge gap. And one of the things that you want to do when you're doing reflection is, number one, self-reflection. Take time. Today, go and reflect on your childhood experiences. How are they influencing your current parenting style? I need you to identify patterns that are beneficial, patterns that are not beneficial. My mom is here watching me. My dad is also, I'm sure, here by extension. There are a lot of patterns that they created that I've had to actually sit down to question. And I said, no, I don't want these patterns in my own journey. And I need to recreate them. And today I've been able to recreate it. So reflection, and it's in that reflection you will understand that it is not about just saying, oh, no, I don't have, nothing has happened to me. I'm not traumatized. Every single one of us need to get into this healing course. Because this healing course will open your eyes to the things that you won't even imagine that happen. Number two is education. You need to equip yourself with knowledge. Education and then creativity. Then learning. Education, learning, and creativity. You need to equip yourself with knowledge about the different parenting techniques, child development. It can provide you with new perspective and tools that will enhance your parenting skills. You will begin to actually think differently. You actually are doing what you're doing because you do not know any other way to do it. So if you're listening to me today and you are parenting and you do not have any system that helps you to learn parenting in detailed form, you're wrong. I say that again. If you're listening to me today and you are parenting in today's world and you do not have any parenting system that helps you to project the systems and help you review and learn the process of your parenting, provide you new perspective, tools to enhance your parenting skills today, you are wrong. That's why we run the academy. That's why we run the inner circle. Because you need new perspective. You need new perspective. You need it. It's not about, oh, my parents, we turned out okay. My parents did it well. If you are the whole lesson of one generation to another is to be able to have the next generation do better than the previous generation have done. And if you're not doing better than your parents have done, you have failed already. Because I don't think any father, any mother will expect that they will do better than their children have done. Never. Number 3 is mindful parenting. You need to become intentional. Intentional. You become intentional in your interactions. You become present and attentive. You begin to make conscious choices about how you respond to their needs and their behavior. You need to actually make these conscious responses, conscious choices from the place of knowledge. If you do not gain new perspective, you will not be able to make these conscious steps. Take them. Seek support. If you have a problem, you are struggling on any area, seek support. One of the reasons that we love the inner circle is that we say that the inner circle is where we are naked and not ashamed. There's nothing that inner circle parent cannot share in the inner circle. Naked, totally naked and not ashamed. Nobody is going to, people will judge you if you need to be judged. It's the judgment that actually helps you to be able to move. So people will tell you, no, you would have done it this way. Oh, this is how you think you'd have done it. Did you try this? Did you try that? So this is so important. And the problem is that most times, because we don't even have any goal, we don't understand why we have become parents, we don't understand what's happening, you find out that, it's either here, not there, we're constantly, and doing all of this. We're not taking support. Support is parenting academy today. When they say it takes a village to raise a child, the village is not one space, one village square. No, this is our village. The Intentional Parent Academy Inner Circle is our village. And you see people hold your hand through it. If you come now, you see that somebody came in and said, oh, the child, did something in school and they suspended the child. We say, oh, that's fine. It's okay. The child will go through his shame. It's fine. People were listing different things that the child can be doing at home. I love your dad. Nobody was saying, hey, how are you feeling? Well, no, why is she feeling anyhow? It's okay. The child has done, it's fine. Ma, make sure that these are the things that do you have a house help? Give the house help a break for now. For now. If I want to finish reading the suggestions, I was like, correct. Oh, shit, this child will know that tomorrow it is him that the thing is hitting, not the mother. Not the mother. So this is very important. Remember to like and share this link, all right, as you're watching. So the next one is be adaptable. Be willing to adapt and change your parenting strategies as you learn and grow. Stop all the arguments. All these things that they're teaching. Are you sure? They just want to take our money. I have this book. Are you sure? You're not even open to learning. You don't want to even learn the new strategies and grow. Parenting is an ongoing journey. You must be flexible enough to allow you to meet your child's evolving need. Your child's evolving need. So today, one of the things I'm charging you to do is there is no Tuesday life. Even if you work Tuesday life for 10 years, that's going to actually give you the system and the structure that the academy gives you. I know what I'm saying. We create these systems because it's a system that walks you through step by step. This doesn't have it. This is education. Like I said, advocacy, attention, awareness. You need to commit yourself into a learning system. And that learning system is even by you accepting that, see, there's something wrong. I need to begin to work on it. If the inner circle starts 1st December 2024, but you can start by joining the healing course. get books to read. It's going to change your life. It's going to change your life. It's a good place to start. So the excuse is, yes, some of us that will say, oh, our parents did it, our parents didn't know any better, they didn't do, and all of that. Yeah, but we can actually do things better ourselves by learning to do things better. A few days ago, I shared on my timeline about Jabba and how we are taking children to Jabba. We are not considering the children at all. And we say, I'm doing it for my children. Are you really? Because if you are doing it for your children, there are lots of things to consider. I had to tax myself to say, you see that before you Jabba book, I'm going to actually write it. So there's so much mistakes. So when we're done, we'll not say children that are raised abroad are useless. No, they're not useless. It's that you didn't know what it is that is required to actually give. There is a gap in your knowledge bank. There's a gap. So this is why I'm inviting you to join the healing course. Now, this topic was how your upbringing affected your parenting today. If you don't deal with your upbringing, you will never parent better. Let me say that again. If you do not deal with your upbringing, you will never parent better. See, if you don't deal with your upbringing, you will never parent better. Because the things that happen in the past don't stay in the past. Your past is part of your present. You must always remember that. All right, 1 hour is gone. I wish we have more hours, right? That's why you need a system that's going to help you, all right? Raising the independent thinking child, connect to correct, how to love your child more. This is one book that we're reading now. When you read it, you will know that I love my child, I love my child. You might not really love your child. Last week, you know, the way you think. Last week we did the class, love systems in the inner circle, right? And parents began to understand the definition of love in the real sense of it. All those chanting, I love my child, you know, and all of that, it's really like that here, not there. So if you don't deal with your upbringing, you won't parent better. Your past is part of your present. You can never shove it under the. You know, people say time heals. Time heals. Oh, time is going to make everything right. It's not true. If you don't deal with what time has actually cost you and why time has brought you where you are, time doesn't heal. It is what you do with time that heals. It is not time in itself, because time in itself does not have the capacity to heal. Somebody get it? It's not just about, oh, time is a healer. Oh, in the past that's I can move on. No, it will come to you because it's programming. So you must deal with it. Get into the healing course. That's one way to deal with your past, to be able to jog it up and deal with it head on. From yelling to calm, educate your child like a proven 1, 2, 3. All right. You can get any of these books from our Amazon store, or you can send a message to the number on your screen to get a copy on your location. Runke is here. Runke is the distributor in Lagos. Runke has a massive store. You can reach out to her and you can, if you want to get any of our books, you can see her in the comment section. Maybe she drops her number. If you're in Lagos, you can reach out to Runke. If you are in any other state, you can send us a chat. We'll send you the distributor in that your state, and you will be able to actually, get the book. So you have Walking Your Child Through Puberty. It comes with a workbook. We have the parenting launch plan. It helps you to actually, look at the things that you're doing in your parenting and plan. We have the discipline that works. We have raising the emotionally skilled child. We have resolving sibling rivalry. We have solving family problem through effective communication. We have discipline is not an emergency. I'm currently writing about 4 books at the moment. And I know that writing books is going to be our way to change the narrative and change the system of our parenting today. I believe that if we pay attention to the books, the courses, and the transformative process in our parenting, we're going to make a difference. Thank you again for joining me. I am Wendy Ologe, and I'm called Africa's #1 parent coach. Yes, you're right. And if there's anything that you've heard here that have changed the perspective of how you parent, put it in the comment section. Don't forget, don't stop here, because all you have here is advocacy, attention, and awareness. I want you to move to learning. Join us as a healing course. Join us at the inner circle. The details for inner circle is scrolling right under this video, and you might want to take it and send a chat to the team. If you have any questions, send a chat to the team right on my screen. Thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget, your past is part of your present. Don't forget, your past is part of your present. Pay attention to your past. Don't dwell in it, but deal with it. Don't dwell in your past, but deal with it. Thank you so much, and see you next Tuesday at Cathedral. Yarders, see you in the yard.